The other free way to find properties would obviously be to go to the MLS, right? So you go to Zillow. I put in New Britain because that's just what I'm gonna keep using for an example, since that's where I'm from. And this is crazy right now. You always want to make sure this red buttons for sale is on and not for rent or sold, and you'll have these on, checked off so you can see all the properties that are available. But right now, there's 8 properties on the MLS. This is insane. I've never seen this naked. But typically, when you're looking for properties, we're looking for properties that need work. We're not interested in looking for properties that need no work, where they want like top dollar for them, because then how are you going to make money as an investor? That's one of the most important things as an investor, is to buy at a discount or get some type of a deal. You always make your money when you buy. There's no sense in buying a property as an investor that's basically doesn't need any work whatsoever, and is, like that one right there is pretty good condition. You know what I mean? I didn't see the inside, but I'm assuming by the looks of it, it's a pretty solid house. It's turnkey. There's not too much fixing that it needs. So we're always looking for properties that we could add value to. We could get it at a good price, where there's room to fix it up and then be able to sell it for a profit, right? So, like I said, I've never seen the MLS this empty. But typically, when you're looking through the MLS, it's wild. A few months ago, you probably seen like 50, 60 houses on here, 70 in some cases. This number 8 right here was like in the 70s and 80s, or at least like 60s if I remember right. But yeah, this is crazy to see this naked. And just to let you guys know, the reason why this is like this is because right now we're no longer in a seller's market like we were a few months ago. We're now in a buyer's market. A few months ago, sellers were able to get all types of crazy out of this world prices for their houses. In some cases, people would come in and put an offer on a house, right? Like, let's just say this one right here for 175. This was 6 months ago. This house probably would end up selling for like 185 in some cases, 190 even. It was crazy. People were putting a price, for sale price on their property, and they were getting more than what they even were trying to get. There was people bidding just to get these properties, because during that time, people were able to get loans at 3%, or in some cases less, 2.9, 2.8, ridiculous amounts, very low interest rate. So it made sense in a way, but the prices were very inflated. And we're going to see in probably the next 3 to 6 months how inflated they really were when we really hit the bottom, which I don't think we're at the bottom yet. But we're basically no longer in that type of market, which that was considered a seller's market. When the sellers were in control, they were able to sell these properties for very high prices. Now things have changed. There's very low inventory, and a lot of sellers have been dropping their prices all over the country. I'm also in the North Carolina market, and I've been noticing it, that with a lot of properties. Like, there's one I just got an offer back today on. I put an offer for 15 grand on it. They wanted 35 grand. It needed a lot of work, but I got a call last night that basically they were accepting my offer. So today I spoke to the realtor, and we resubmitted, whatever paperwork we had to submit. So things are definitely changing. People are dropping their prices, but there's not a whole lot of inventory. So basically, like I told you before, people were getting loans at 3% interest or less. Now you're looking at like 7% interest, and this is people with great credit. You're still going to have like a 7% interest rate if you go buy a property right now. So it doesn't really make sense. You know what I'm saying? Compared to like a few months ago, where people were super spoiled at the 3% range. So typically, you would be able to go into MLS if you found something that was not in the greatest shape in here. You might want to check it out. Um, like, this probably needs a little bit of work with a foreclosure. So, like, this would be something you could add to. So what you would typically do is you would take this property and you would compare it to other properties that are like this one, like a 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 1,200 square feet. So I would go back and see, okay, 115 for that. I'm gonna look at it, see what type of work it needs. That's a good sign already that it needs some work. So then you would go back and you could see what houses sold for, in the last few months, that were, let's see, 2 bed, 1 bath. Oh, we got it. Bang. So this will tell you all the houses that were sold that were 2 bed, 1 bath, in the last, let me see what I got it. Um, any. So it's going to show me some that are probably even a year old, 2 years, 3 years old. But you could play with this and check the last 90 days, which is what you want to be paying attention to now when you start running comps. I'll get into comps in a minute, but comps are just basically comparables. Whenever you're looking at a property, you want to know what other properties similar to that property had sold for. That way you're able to know how much you can pay for a property, because the number one biggest mistake that you can make is overpaying for a property, because then it puts you in a tough situation where you don't have a whole lot of exit strategies, you know. So basically that's how you would find all the sold ones. But like I said, there's like little or no inventory on the MLS right now, which is crazy. And then over here, the other method is what we call squatting up, or the Astro method, where you could join these different real estate groups, right? People post deals in here, right? Some of them are deals, some of them really aren't deals. So you always have to, learn to check comparables by checking other properties that sold in the past to see if any properties that you find in these groups are actual deals. So that's every time somebody sends you a deal, that's the first thing you want to do is comp it. And I'll actually share a video for you guys on the proper way to comp. I'm not even going to shoot that video. I'm going to give you a video from my mentor, and because it's like the best video I've ever seen on comping, and it's right on YouTube. I'm going to share that in the group. I'll actually share that one as well as this one I'm doing right now. So expect 2 videos today. So you could join these groups, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to build relationships with other people in these groups, because there's other people like us, investors in these groups, there's realtors in these groups. So in the real estate game, one of the most important things is networking and building relationships. The more people that you have relationships with, the more people that you know that are doing what you're doing, the better. You can never have enough relationships when it comes to this. So join some of these Facebook groups today. That could be part of your homework, and start making friends with some of these people. And most importantly, people in the group, start making friends with them too, because you guys will be able to do deals together. Let's say, for example, somebody in the group finds a property, right? And basically they might not have a buyer for that property. Let's say it's a property they're looking at, they have under contract, and they want to find a buyer for it. It's not a property that they want to keep or a property they want to fix and flip. They want to do what we call wholesaling, which I'll get into the different exit strategies at a later video too. Sooner than later, actually. We're coming up to that. I'm going to get into exit strategies. Right now I just wanted to cover the main ways to find deals. Then I'm going to show you guys how to also comp today. And then I still have 2 more ways that I want to show you guys how to find deals after this. Yesterday I showed you guys the driving for dollars. Today this is just going on the MLS and going in Facebook groups so you can find deals, because people in here that have these deals, some of them are other investors, and they just might not have a buyer for their deal because they don't have a big buyers list. So you might know another investor that wants to buy that deal. So basically you guys could joint venture on it, also known as JV on it. They found the buyer, you found the seller, you guys could split an assignment fee, right? We'll get more into that later on, but I'm just right now I just want to focus on the marketing part, where to find these. So Facebook groups and the MLS. And if you know somebody who's a realtor, they have access to the MLS, which is like all the properties that you see here. Excuse me, not sold. All the properties you see for sale right now on the market, as well as a lot of other information. Realtors have access to quite a bit of information. I'm actually in the process of getting licensed, not so much because I want to be a realtor, but more just get access to the MLS, and it'll help my investment business. And it wouldn't be a bad idea for you guys either in the future to get licensed. It's not necessary. What I'm going to teach you guys to do does not require a license, does not require any money or credit. And if it ever does require some money, it doesn't have to be your money. So just remember that. You want to get very good at finding these deals and knowing what is a deal, being able to evaluate if something is a deal or not based on looking at old properties that sold in the past that are comparable to it. Look out for the video that I'm going to share with you guys about that, about finding comps and then knowing the value of a property, knowing what you should pay for a property. So I also wanted to cover, this is what I discussed yesterday. So I just go back to New Britain again because I like to use New Britain for example. You guys can see it right here. This is the site right here, vgsi.com/Connecticut-online-database / you'll go in here. There's a bunch of towns in here. Some towns are missing because they use a different system, but you could always go in here and see if the town you're looking for is in here. In my case, and let's say New Britain happens to be in here, so I could go right in here and I could put a property address, right? Let's just use that one, and they'll tell you, see, these are the owners of this property. It'll tell you how much they pay for this property. where the owner lives. This is his actual address, or where he not necessarily where he lives, but this is his mailing address, because this owner doesn't live at this property. He just owns this property, but this is where he gets his mail that has to do with this property. And then right here will tell you all the people that ever owned this property, the date they bought it, the prices that they paid for the property. Right here will give you more details of the layout of the property, how the property looks, the square footage, the replacement costs, give you some type of blueprints here, or not necessarily blueprints, but the layout. And then they'll tell you, what type of zoning it is, more information about the property, the appraised value, etc. So you could punch in any address that you want some information on. Like I was telling you guys yesterday, if you ever wanted to, connect with the owner, find out who the owner is to this property, this is where you find out. In this case, it's not an individual, it's an LLC. So you can go to right here, what we call open corporates.com, right? And we would put in the name of the LLC right there, which was the name of that LLC, Jubilee Construction LLC. Let's copy that. Whoop. Copy. And then we're going to put it in here, see if it pops up. And then you hit send. And then there's a bunch of Jubilees because there's different states. In Connecticut, there's only one. So there we are. We found it right there. Bang. Click on it. And then it tells us the guy in charge of this LLC is Benjamin Podak. And then it has this address for him. So now you can take this address right here, or the one we saw before right here. Where is it at? Right here. You can try both of them. But basically try his name with this address, as well as you're going to use the same name, but you're going to try with both this address and you're going to try with the other address and see which one, pops up. Like I showed you guys yesterday. I'll just show you real quick. You would go to Fast People Search, or you would go to True People Search for these are the free options. So you would put his name in here. Where's he at? Benjamin Potak. Let's see. Benjamin Potak. Right? And then we're gonna put, where's that at? Let's try this one first. Let's see. Copy. Go back in here. Where we at? Where am I at? All right. And then we'll paste it right in here. So we'll try this address first, see if anything pops up. So you see, oh, there you go. This might be it, actually. We're not sure if that's the one, but there's a few that'll pop up. That one's in Maryland. I'm willing to bet that this one might be him right here, because see, Farmington, Connecticut. And then when we go back to what I was showing you guys, not this one. Let's go. Where was it at? Right here. You see, I has a Farmington. Oh no, he has Farmington Ave, but it's close by. You could try it out. It might not be the number. It might. There's several in here, but this might possibly be it. But you see all these numbers that pop up for him, so you could try to call him on all those numbers. Same thing here. You could punch the name in here and put the address in here. You could try both of those addresses to see what you get. You press send, you get a bunch of numbers as well. So then you can call them. Let's say if neither of these sites work, right? So then you would go to the paid site I told you guys about, which is Fiverr. There's a lot of these skip tracing sites, but this is just what I use. There's tons of these. There's even a lot more free ones than the one I just showed you, but this is what I use. So we'd go here, see, where is it at? Right here. I'll do skip tracing for you. So this is the person that I always use, but let me go back just to show you. You don't have to use them because there's a lot of them that do it. You'd go in here and you would put real estate skip tracing. And then let's see. Okay. So you see here how we got all these people that do real estate skip tracing. Like I told you guys yesterday, this guy right here, 4.9, had 95 sales. He might be pretty solid. But even better, this one, he got a 5.0. He did 270 sales, right? And then you click in here and see how much they're charging too. But if somebody has better ratings, like this guy's a 5 stars and 270, and you find somebody has, maybe like a little less ratings and less reviews, and they're a little cheaper, don't go with the cheapest, because when it comes to getting data and phone numbers, you want to go with better quality. Its quality is better. So right here, this guy's telling you for 200 to skip Trace 200. He's charging $20. Over here, 500. So he charges 10 cents here. The guy I deal with charges 5 cents. So if I'm not mistaken, we're 1,000. Or is that 5 cents? Yeah, something like that. But basically, you could do the math, and you will see. Let me just go to the one that I use so you guys can see. But you don't have to use who I use. You can try a bunch of different ones, but try to take somebody who has 5 stars and has a lot of ratings. And that way you'll have better success. So let's see. Where's he at? Let's go to his page. So look, I pay 100. I get 100 skip trades for $5, 500 for $25, 1,000 of them for $45, right? So I send this guy basically the information, like the information of the owner, and he'll send me back the phone numbers that he has. But like I told you before, try the free sites first: Fast People Search and True People Search. If those don't work, then you can go to Fiverr and hire somebody here for 5 cents, 10 cents a skip. This is opencorporates.com. Whenever you look a property up and you see that it is owned by an LLC like this one is, then you're going to go to Open Corporates because you want to find out who's the agent. You want a name that is associated with that LLC, so that way you can skip trace and find out how to get a hold of this person. So now you got a name. You can play with this address as well as the other address that was provided on here and see, and just call us. That's how you're going to get a hold of them. The whole point is to get a hold of these sellers so you can ask them if they're open to selling. And let me get that one out. And then, as I told you guys before, this is the one for New Britain, but there's several different cities. So you see, this one has Andover, Bethlehem, Bolton, all these towns. Some of them are missing, but they also have a similar system. They just don't use this specific system, but they provide the same information. It's just a different system. If you're having trouble finding a specific town or city, just reach out to me and let me know, and I'll find it for you, right? And then another way that I mentioned yesterday, just to show you guys and give you a visual, because I talked about it yesterday, but now you can actually see it. Let's just use New Britain for example again. You'd put in New Britain taxes, right? And then what you do, you'd go in here, and then if it's you got the property location at this point, because we're assuming you found the property, you were driving for dollars, you got the address, but you don't know who owns it. So you're going to come here to find out who owns it. So we're going to go to property location because we already know who is, the address. We don't know the owner's name. So we would go here, 58 Dwight. Let's just use this one again. You don't got to put street, road, or any of that. You just literally put 58 and then Dwight. And then you'll go in here, and then you will see, try to go to the most recent year. We're in 2021. Well, we're in 2022, but last year's taxes. So once again, you see these are the owners right here, right? And then it'll tell you what they owe in taxes if you wanted to know in the future if they're ever behind in taxes. Sometimes properties that are behind in taxes can use your help before they lose the property if they're in that position. But if you see this, it doesn't necessarily mean they're way behind. And the bill is not. They're not. If you see this number a lot larger than this, because this is what they got to pay every 6 months. If you see it a lot larger than this, like double or triple, then they're way behind. He just hasn't paid his last payment, so he's not really behind. And then once again, see, it says the LLC owns it here. So you would, let's say you didn't use the vision appraisal site I showed you, and you went to the taxes site to find out who the owner was. Then you would go back to Open Corporates like I showed you before to find out, who owns that LLC. And that's pretty much it. So remember, join some of these Facebook groups, make friends with other investors. And if you don't have access to the MLS because you're not a realtor, you can always go on Zillow, and Zillow will show you what's out there. Remember, we're looking for properties that need some work. We're not interested in properties that don't need absolutely any work, not just yet. We'll get into that later on. But for the most part, you're looking for some type of a deal, something you can add value to. So let's get out of there. And then tomorrow I will show you the third way to find deals, and we're going to use this software called PropStream. This software, you can get like a 7-day free trial for it, and then after 7 days they charge you like $99. But I'll show you guys more how to use that tomorrow. And the first 2 ways were like the most inexpensive ways to find deals. They just require a little bit of your time and energy. This will require a little bit of money, nothing crazy, because PropStream Subscriptions $99 a month, and then skip tracing like I showed you guys on Fiverr is like 5 cents a skip, and then you got your cell phones already, so you can make calls. So basically, I'll get into that tomorrow, and that's about it. Thank you very much.